A sunny day in Oakland, folks. It's your buddy Mike Messier. Look at that nice lighting, but I'm going to. Oops, I just dropped my key light or whatever. A sunny day in Oakland. This is Mike's Instant Movie Review. Let's discuss this film. It's not a horror film, it's what I would call a dramedy ensemble. That's one of the perhaps things about this movie. I enjoyed the movie. I watched the whole thing. I enjoyed it. It was well received by the audience that I sat there with in this wonderful movie theater tonight. Good movie. Perhaps on some technical notes, should you or should you not see this movie? I think most people would like this movie. I think this is not a horror film. It's a very contemporary film. A softer version, perhaps, in some ways, of movies like Barbershop and I think it was Beauty Shop was kind of the spin-off with Queen Latifah. This is predominantly African-American cast and characters. A couple of white folks in there. What did I think? I enjoyed it, but there was some technical issues. I'll say those right now as they're fresh in my brain. Audio levels seem to go up and down in this movie, which is usually a sign of a lower budget. Although this movie did have some people that you would recognize. Michael J. White was in this. I believe he was the priest, a former football player turned priest. Although I thought he was a pastor. I think maybe he was mislabeled as a priest by another character in the film. And it's kind of like hard to put on who's the central character. I guess Dr. Latrice is. There's this therapist character, very beautiful actress. Of course, everyone makes a big deal about how hot she is in the movie, the wonderfulness of her ass, among other assets, and so to speak. But she is very pretty, which they keep telling you. But she is. And so I guess her character is the central character, although it's not very clear at some points because it seems like there's a lady who's been in a bunch of things. She was in Waiting to Exhale, going way, way, way back. But she plays the postal office, the mail lady, and she is in a lot of scenes and seems like she could be the central character. Then you have these two bickering ex-husband, ex-wife duo. And at times it seems like the ex-husband of the barbershop, it seems like he could be the central character. So that's why I say it's an ensemble. But I think if you had to pick one, it would probably be Dr. Latrice as the central character. What is a central character? That's the person, who the movie mostly hangs out with, There's some type of rat-like vermin, or maybe it's just a leaf. Interesting. But in any event, I like the movie. What else? Okay, here's one. Early in the movie, spoiler, there is a scene where Dr. Latrice is chasing her former lover out into the street, and she throws a random cardboard box at him, which basically goes on the top of the roof of his car, and then he knocks the cardboard box off. And then we cut back to her for a close-up, and then we cut back to him getting into his car, and magically the cardboard box that was just on the roof of the car that went to the pavement has now disappeared. So it's no longer on the pavement. Nobody's picked the fucking box up. He doesn't run over the box. It's just like, okay, where's the fucking box? I mean, you might have seen some of my What's in the Box videos, but now it's like, where's the box? Like the box just magically disappeared. Kind of like that Pulp Fiction, the bullets in the fucking door thing. I'm sure you saw that, the bullets in the wall. I am a little tired. You might be able to tell. What else? I don't know. I mean, Marla Gibbs, who you might recall as Florence in the the Jeffersons. Remember when Mr. Jefferson used to say, Florence, Florence, Florence. She's in this thing playing an old lady, I guess. But it's like one of these movies where you know, like you hang out with the people, you know, you get to feel like you know all these folks in the neighborhood and all that good shit. And you know, there's some concepts here that are a little more spoilers, folks. You know, like it's like the rapper gets shot. You know, I mean, it seemed a little bit like okay, we're just trying to shoehorn today's headlines into this movie. I didn't quite get why we needed a kid getting shot by the fucking white cop. I mean, but it was an interesting how it played out. Because the kid did say, I think he was saying something like, "Let me get my CD. I'm Glock 9." Like his rapper name is Glock 9, so he says I thought he said something like, "I'm Glock 9. Let me show you my CD." He reaches into his bag or his pocket, and I think he said the word Glock 9 because that's his rapper name, and the cop gets all nervous and shoots him. But magically, Glock 9 is okay. You know what I mean? It's like one of these movies where, like, bad shit happens at the, I'm saying, like, if you're going to have the kid get shot, that's like a major storyline, not just like a 10-minute thing at the end of the movie. It just feels shoehorned. To me, sometimes it seems, folks, that movies are doing pretty well, but they feel the need to shoehorn every goddamn, current event type of thing into the movie so it's timely. Well, let's make some timeless movies. Didn't really need the shooting. I mean, look, if you want to have the fucking shooting, have the shooting, but it should count for something, and it shouldn't just be like, oh, he got shot, but he's going to be okay. Well, it looked like he got shot right in the middle of the fucking chest, so how's he just going to be magically okay? It doesn't make any goddamn sense, no offense. What else? There's so many characters. You have the Bodega USA, you have it was hard to tell if it was like one of those May-December relationships, but it was actually a father and a daughter, and apparently the daughter is the one that cheated with the guy at the barber shop on his wife. I think that's the case. But then she ends up with a nice guy. It seemed like she was going to end up with the white cop, but once he shot a kid, no pussy for him, because he's a killer of children. Or not, But interesting that the movie kind of ended with in my opinion, it seemed inspired by Bollywood. Like all the characters come out and do a song and dance. And maybe it's because I've been seeing some of these Bollywood movies. This was like basically at the end credits. We had a few bumpers at the end of humor. There's also an evil landlord guy in this thing. What was his name? Marquise King, who was busting everybody's balls in this movie. He was pretty good. Everybody was pretty good. I really didn't have any problems with any of the performances or anything. I do not think it was the theater I was in. I think it was the movie has some fucking audio level difficulties with some of the dialogue scenes. In particular, the blonde chick, she was good in her role, but she had a scene with the doctor, and her audio is up and down like a roller coaster. And like I said, this theater, if nothing else, has good audio, this AMC theater here in Jacksonville, Florida. I do not think it was the theater's fault. I think the movie has some issues with its audio. This is one of those movies, I don't know how many screens it's playing on. I will give credit to good old Jacksonville. I've been here for so many years now. I've noticed that these theaters in Jacksonville tend to get some of these movies that aren't really being released in other parts of the country. So I mean, sometimes when limited screenings or limited theaters, I think we are one of these limited theater cities. And I'm happy for that, because I like seeing movies that not every Tom, Dick, and asshole's going to go see. There was some big fucking movie, Shazam. Really? Because I don't know if it's a sequel or if it's the first one. I used to like Shazam as a small child, but it's like, did I miss the first one? Because this one has like a subtitle. The Quadrophenia Man or the Ant-Man or whatever the fuck. Who's that? Paul Rudd. I have no fucking interest. I mean, it's the third one. I didn't see the first two. Never saw any of the goddamn John Wick movies either. And I just don't have time for these movies that are just sequels. Make one fucking movie that I can enjoy without signing a contract to see 30 fucking sequels, okay? But in any event, this was a good film. For those of you who might be wondering who's this asshole talking to us in his car, it's Mike. I do Mike's Instant Movie Reviews. Now here's where things get interesting. Most of these reviews, I've got 200 of them, are on my original channel, which is now One Pro Wrestling Fan. And I recently did a brand split. I split into 3. One Pro Wrestling Fan has all the archives, because that's the channel that was formerly known as Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Now it's One Pro Wrestling Fan, because I realized, I was kind of putting all these different things and making too many stews and with too many ingredients or whatever the fuck. So now, if you want to see these casual, straight-to-camera discussions of movies and other interesting things, if you have any topics you want me to cover, leave them in the comments. I'll do my best. But this is where it's just me and you. Very raw, very emotional, and that's it. But if you are wanting to see more of my stuff,